Welcome to the deep dive.
We're exploring insights from Horse and Chariot, which it's this great source blending old Christian wisdom with some very practical stuff for, today. Today we're jumping into a really fascinating Christian teaching, the unity of the virtues.
Yeah, drawing on those classic Horse and Chariot sources.
Exactly. And our mission really is to get our heads around why virtue is seen as this single unified system for the soul, not just, a checklist of good traits.
Right. It helps to understand that these sources see virtue as a kind of divine artistry, a complete cohesive masterpiece.
A symphony. Not a random playlist. I like that. So let's start with this idea of interconnectedness. The sources seem to split these traits into two families, don't they?
They do. You have the acquired cardinal virtues, justice, prudence, things you build through effort. And then you have the theological ones, faith, hope, and charity.
Which are seen as gifts, right?
Gifts from grace, yeah. They're the engine. And the central teaching is that no virtue can stand on its own. They're like, the sources say, buoys in the water, rising and falling together.
So growing in faith means you also grow in hope.
Inevitably. And a deeper charity, which is this divine love that has to strengthen your sense of justice. I mean, how could it not? True love demands right treatment.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful interdependence, but that also creates a huge vulnerability, doesn't it? If they all rise together.
They can all fall together, and that's the critical risk.
Yeah, how bad can it be?
St. Teresa of Avila gives this really stark warning. She says, and I'm paraphrasing a bit, a slight failing in one virtue is enough to put all the others to sleep.
Wow. So a lapse in, say, self-control.
Right, a lapse in temperance. And suddenly you can't think clearly. Your prudence is gone. Weakness just ripples through the whole system. A total collapse is possible.
Okay, I get the ideal, but let's be practical.
Yeah.
How does this system actually maintain order inside a person? I mean, it seems psychologically almost impossible not to fragment.
Well, this is where that famous charioteer analogy comes in. It's the ordering mechanism for the soul.
Right, the chariot.
So the intellect is the charioteer. That has to be enlightened by faith. The will, that's the reins. And it needs hope to hold firm to what is good.
And the horses.
The horses are the passions. They have to be perfected by charity, so they're driven by love, not just impulse.
So the cardinal virtues, they're kind of the operating manual for the charioteer.
Yeah.
To manage the reins and the horses.
That's a perfect way to put it, yeah. Prudence helps the charioteer see the path clearly. Justice makes sure the reins pull correctly.
And fortitude and temperance keep things going and under control.
Exactly. And so what's of all this is that without that synchronization, the soul is just, well, it's a mess. A chariot with wild horses or weak reins, you cannot reach holiness that way.
This sounds incredibly taxing, though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this can't all be just sheer human willpower. The sources mention something about an external power.
Right. Not at all. The power is external. It's twofold, really.
Okay.
First is prayer. It's called the lifeblood, the engine of virtue. Without it, all of this just becomes, well, a performance.
Just going through the motions.
Right. And there's a great insight from Søren Kierkegaard here. He said something like, the function of prayer isn't to influence God, but to change the nature of the one who prays.
That completely reframes it, so it's not a cosmic request list.
No, it's about reorienting your inner self. But the ultimate power source is grace.
The second part.
Yes. The unity of the virtues is only possible through grace, which you access through that committed prayer. Grace is the Holy Spirit. The sources call it the winds of grace that move the soul.
So what's our role in that?
Our role is to lift the sails of our soul, by living virtuously and being humble enough to know that any good that comes is a gift. That's how you catch the wind.
So the path of virtue, as it's described here, is, well, it's steep. It's demand.
It has to be. The goal isn't a small tweak. It's complete transformation, shedding the old self. And the sources are realistic about it. They know you're going to falter.
You'll stumble.
Absolutely. You will lose ground. It seems to me it's about focusing on faithfulness over perfection.
That's the bottom line. The ultimate lesson from these sources is about getting back up.
Getting back up.
Yes. The material says that if you fall 77,000 times, you must not desert the way in despair.
You just have to resume the way in hope.
That's it. That focus on unrelenting recommitment, powered by hope and grace, not by your own perfect record. That's the true engine of transformation.